The drummer is a jokester, right? He's making all the jokes like the drummer in any band probably does. The piano player is an intellectual, but it's interesting, Spike Lee chooses the piano player in this movie to be the guy in an interracial relationship. And the girl is in an interracial relationship with, piano player is black, the girl is French and white, so it creates all kind of tension, and he's like the guy who's probably in love all the time, right? So, and his girlfriend's in the dressing room and that crazy. So, you know, and Denzel's got, you know, the classic trumpet player thing, he's really handsome. Smart and brilliant, like most trumpet players are. So the fact that, you know, this movie has such an impact, when you hear just a song from the movie, if you play jazz, it really means a lot to you. But people really love the song, and every time I would play the song, people would always ask after the show what it is. So it just happened to be one of those things that came together with a really good song. The movie means a lot. It had a profound impact on anybody wanting to play this music, particularly in my generation, meaning that you find there aren't a lot of images right now, I think, of people, you know, tends to say 20-year-olds who like represent being a great jazz musician. And the same could be said probably for an architect or some other fields that are really difficult that have not received a lot of visibility.
You mentioned Spike Lee's father. Is he a recognized songwriter?
He's not. He's a jazz musician. He's a bass player. You know, just a guy that just was playing bass. And, you know, and I think if you listen, the guy who does all the film scores for Spike Lee is a guy named Terrence Blanchard, who's from New Orleans, lives in New Orleans. He's another trumpet player. And he does all the film scores. He's done every film score Spike Lee has done since More Better Blues, so for the last roughly 20 years. As well as most of the film scores that you hear today, you know, Terrence Blanchard does the film scores for him. But the fact that Spike Lee would pick a jazz musician to do all his film scores speaks to the fact that jazz was something that he was brought up on. And look, he dedicated a whole movie just to jazz. You know, so not many filmmakers would do something like that. Even those who are from New Orleans, I've seen, I don't really know any filmmakers, even who are from here, that have dedicated an entire film just on jazz and subject.
Where's More Better Blues film? You know?
This is filmed in New York City. In New York City. I mean, you know, Spike Lee, a lot of his stuff is either New York, is Brooklyn heavy. He's very dedicated to his, you know, his foundation where he's from. Atlanta, you know, but he went to college, so you'll see a lot of that stuff with Spike is based around those areas.
When did it come out? The early 90s?
Yeah, this must have been, yeah, well, it definitely was the early 90s. I would say probably 1990 was when the movie came out. I could be wrong, some research should be done on that. Shouldn't be wrong. All right, I'll go to another essay for you guys. This is actually one of my favorite, in terms of pictures in the coffee table book. This is one of my favorites here. And when you get it, you see it. That's just a fine picture. There's one with this woman coming out this bar with this green on. You know, it's just like a classic any day in New Orleans and a bunch of people wearing green leather outfits.
What bar is that? Hi-Ho?
You know, it's a good question. It's definitely a uptown bar. From the look of the houses. But I can't tell.
6th floor? That looks like they closed down.
You think so?
It looks like.
We should ask Erica which bar it is. We should send her, Erica, go bring a message to see which one it was.
Now, were all the photos taken by the same photographer?
No, we used a couple different photographers once we got the essays to put pictures in to make it all happen. It's kind of funny how we did this process. Sonny and I was, we went on tour in Brazil for about a month, and basically we got the book done.
And 2 days driving, traffic.
The traffic was so bad in Sao Paulo that we had so many hours I could almost finish a book.
Did you have a bodyguard?
Huh?
Did you have a bodyguard?
Just Sonny.
I serve a lot of purpose.
Kidnapping's big down here.
They weren't trying to kidnap us. All right, here we go. Old time Indians. Hoochie Mata. It doesn't matter the dictionary, you won't find those words. They only exist in New Orleans music. Sometimes it's hard to tell when or where something started in New Orleans. I wish I could give a technical translation of the words. A few random explanations have crossed my path from time to time. Yet, the truth remains, I have no idea how to translate the saying into English. What I do know is what it means to us in New Orleans. You probably shouldn't be giving the Big Chief any resistance to his words. The line states you are free and clear to go Giacomo Fina Hey anytime you want. However, it doesn't seem like you would enjoy it very much. Other song lyrics don't say much about what the Hoochie Mata is, but I know it is either on Mardi Gras Day or St. Joseph's Day. But always when the Mardi Gras Indians come out. We in New Orleans dress up very elaborately, I might add, as Indians, kings, and queens, wild men, and other titles that don't mean much to outsiders. The elaborate costumes get the much-deserved attention, but the music is where the true hidden treasures lie. Listen to Big Chief Bo Dallas, Big Chief Donald Harrison Jr., Cyril Neville, and Flag Boy Walter Dookie Harris, and you hear the rich history of our Congo Square ancestors who came from many different areas on the globe. But the blues of the chant is undeniably American and rich with history. Neville and Harrison came together with everyday workers to record this track on a Los Hombres Calientes album. In classic New Orleans fashion, you don't have to understand it to love it. And then I have a saying down here, which is a classic line to one of the songs. If you don't like what the Big Chief says, you can Giacomo Fina Hey. I've had a lot of discussions with people trying to figure out what that means. And you know, if you ask one person to tell you one thing, you ask somebody to tell you something else, you can't really figure out where it got started. I've seen a bunch of different historical things written on it. But what's more powerful about it is, you know, I just showed you guys a picture with some people dressed up in green leather outfits that they put on, and it wasn't the most special day in their lives, right? This is just something that they get together and they do, and it's unique, and we can't really figure out where it came from, but we know it's here and it exists. It exists right now. So one of the things I wanted to do was capture, I would do all these recordings in like different countries, so I would go like to Cuba, and like we'd be in Havana, and then I would record there and work with all these like indigenous rhythms and indigenous people from Cuba. I would go to Trinidad and we'd record like steel pans at rainforests. You saw these people like these big steel pans, how they played music. Or then I went to Haiti and then I saw a voodoo ceremony. I saw people play the drums. And then I got to thinking, like, you know, in New Orleans we have our own kind of thing too. So how about I treat the New Orleans recording sessions the same thing? So I called a bunch of people. I actually called this one guy named, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Tootie Montana, gave me something just to say, or something like that. But nonetheless, I never had an opportunity to record with him, which I really would have liked. And he died in the New Orleans City Council chambers. If you guys are not familiar with it, I don't know if you are familiar with that story, but there was, when the ordinances came out, this is what we were talking about with politics, all the things that we discussed, you know, when the rubber meets the road, the council was trying to pass different ordinances about people coming together to have parades. And the Indians are used to just being able to get together on any day at any point in time and just coming out with their drums and with their suits and just randomly get in the street and just start going, you know. And of course they'll wind up at some place, either some bar